9 years ago, August 2007, I ventured out on my first mission trip. One of the reasons I wanted to go, or parentheses, forced to go, was that my daughter was 15 and she had a heart to go for missions. So I had to go because she was a minor. So this was my second time out of the country. I was terrified. Going on a mission trip, you had to leave all your conveniences behind. You just had to carry what's on your backpack. You had to eat what they served you. You had to sleep where they tell you to sleep, and you had to pretty much do what you needed to do, what they told you to do. Our fearless leader, we called him Rambo. He was this short, stocky dude, bandana, black mustache, with a little fanny pack and a little pocket knife in there. So traveling to Haiti, our flight was delayed quite a few times. So by the time we got there, it was around 10 p.m. and we still had about an hour and a half to travel to where we were going to our final destination. At that point, we had very little to eat. And when we got to the Haitian airport, there's really nowhere to eat. They didn't have like the traditional airport here where they have, maybe a Yakos or a steak sandwich or a Burger King or things of that. They didn't have any of that. So when we got to the airport, we bought some stuff off the street vendors, and we shared amongst us to just fill our void until we got to our final destination, where they had this feast waiting for us. The trip was kind of crazy altogether, especially our first one. Our fearless leader, Rambo, instructed us that we are to live as the Haitians lived, we are to eat as they ate, we are to sleep as they sleep, to get the whole experience, and to be humble and to accept them as they were. That we were here to serve them, not the opposite way around. So on our way to our final destination, we actually we had to cross a river. We were on the back of a truck, kind of like an army truck, so we were piled all up in there. There was 10 of us, our daughter being the youngest, and we got stuck in the river, crossing the river. Pitch dark. There's not any street lights or anything of that sort. So we're stuck in the river, and there's cars just swinging by us, because what happens is kind of like when you get a running start to go up a hill. It's kind of how the cars needed to go across the river. You need to get a running start, and if you got stuck, you were stuck. We were stuck, and just to show you how gracious the Haitian people came, we were stuck for about 5 minutes, and out of the blue, this group of Haitians just came out of nowhere and started pushing the truck. We finally got out, and we reached our final destination probably around midnight, where they had this huge feast of food. What I learned on our trip was that the Haitians had nothing to give, but yet they gave us all they had. So every morning, we would go to this certain home along the beach overlooking the ocean, and we would go for our 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In between those meals, we would go work at a hospital and rebuild a few things that needed rebuild, painted where we needed painted, and we did like a medical missions and served those that were in need of medical attention with whatever help they needed and some medications. So one of the things that I enjoyed about our walk from the hospital to the home where we had our meals were all the animals, all the wild animals. There was dogs, there was chickens, there was goats. I kind of named a few of them along the way. There was a favorite dog that we saw. It was a lab. I kind of named her my dog. So every time I'd see her, I'm like, hey, it's my dog. And we would buy a couple of kernels of food, and we would feed the dog. And there was a couple chickens. We'd buy some corn and feed it. There was a goat, and we'd feed the goat. So anytime we had the opportunity to feed the wild animals, we could. So every day we would show up, and these group of ladies that were there for the week to serve us by cooking the meals would set up this elaborate table with her plates and her forks, nicely set like if you were at a fine restaurant. But these are all one-bedroom concrete homes that families of 6 or more would live in. So we were honored that they were there to serve us and cook such elaborate meals for us. So every day we would come and we would play with the animals and the goats and the dog and the chickens and all that kind of fun stuff. And so couple nights we would go for dinner, we would have fried meat and rice, and for breakfast we would have some sort of oats and fruits from the trees and things of that sort. Everything was pretty much kind of like farm to table, what we would call here. So our final night, we're sitting around this table and celebrating our final night. And there's two guys there that had come previously with us, and they were the jokesters of the night. So I spooned myself some rice, and I spooned myself some big thing of what I thought was beef stew. And they're all laughing, and I'm wondering why they're laughing. So we're starting eating, and I noticed all this hair in our meal. So of course our fearless Rambo says you have to eat it. If it's on your plate, you have to eat it. It would be wrong not to. So I scarfed down as much as I could without noticing my convulsions amongst every bite. So here I find out that nice billy goat that I was petting the day before was our meal 3 days in a row, just cooked differently, different parts of the meat. And that final meal was the stew. So needless to say, I left that trip, I became a vegan for like 2 weeks. So I've grown to love meat again, but I've learned to appreciate food and be grateful for the food I have. And with Thanksgiving coming up, it is a lesson to be learned that to be grateful for what you have. Thank you.